And we're back again with the Chop Shop. Thank everyone for being patient with us. We had some technical difficulties, but we will be still previewing the season awards for the Houston Rockets in their young core in their rebuilding season. So let's get it right on into it. We previewed the most improved player already, and that was Jalen Green. And the fans, they voted for Jalen Green. I believe to recap, um, James had Tate, and
Yeah.
Allen, you had Christian Wood.
Yep.
And me, myself, I had Josh Christopher. So we're gonna move it right along to the sixth man of the year, and that's Apron Shangoon. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the fans voted for Apron Shangoon as the sixth man of the year. Do y'all agree or disagree with that?
Alan?
I think that's 100% fair. I mean, he's not in the primary rotation. He's not your conventional six man, but I see a man really more being a guard. Maybe Eric Gordon has biased me far too much to it, but I think it's still a great pick.
Yeah, sixth man. I mean, sixth man typically is a guard for sure, but I guess Montrezl Harrell broke that door down a little bit, right? And for me, I definitely picked Şengün as well. I thought it was an easy. Like I just thought that he kept the offense humming for the second unit all season. He would come in and change the whole style of play because like he was kind of the engine of that second group, you know. So I definitely like this pick. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will second and third all of that. I went with Apron Shingun as well. I mean, the media ain't gonna give him no love. I guess you know. I mean, actually, they do give him a little love, but they ain't gonna give him no award. So, Apron Shingun, you get the Chop Shop Six Man of the Year award, and I
The
really
true
can't
most
argue with
coveted
that.
Rockets hardwood, if you ask me, hardware.
Yeah, we got more six men than MVP
Hey,
over
hey,
Yeah.
here in the.
I'll make Alpi. If you hit up Chop Shop, I'll 3D print you a trophy. We'll send it your way.
Oh my God, yes.
The Chop Shop Six Man of the Year award. Alperen
Done.
Şengün. He went from an MVP Turkish league MVP to the Chop Shop Six Man of the Year.
Yeah,
He's going places quick.
that's right. Yeah.
Nah, but we gonna keep it moving to the Defensive Player of the Year, and that is Jay Tate. I actually voted for Tate, so I second this. The fans in their voting. I mean, the reason why I voted for him because no, he did slip a little bit in his defense, but man, I mean, it's like you feel for the guy because he's going up against people, you know, players 6-7 inches taller than him a lot. Because Christian Wood is such a liability against big men to where we sacrifice Tate to like the Lamb of Tate every to the altar every game to the man's the team's biggest big man on the court, and to say he hardly ever misses a game. He's very durable. He stays down in the stance. He gives that spark defensively. I don't think nobody else on our team give us when he is humming and he is moving in the right direction and he has got focus. Jayshawn Tate is a pretty good defender when he ain't battling Jokic and Nurkic and all those other itches and all those other guys, man. Like he can hold his own, and I give it to Tate.
So I mean, like, look at last year, how heavily we relied on David Nwaba and everything, and like we Nwaba and Tate were basically the two guys we had out there to kind of like steady the defense and really get us back in gear. Nwaba has been kissing more pine than anything this season, and I think to a certain extent you can say that's because Tate has done he's done above and beyond the Call of Duty. True, his offense has suffered because of it, but we've seen this with guys like Trevor Ariza when they get too much run. I would even say PJ Tucker, and Tate is a very PJ Tucker like mold. So he's really done a good job on the defensive end, but I fear like we're riding him hard, man.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we're gonna have to. He's gonna have to get some help next year because when you look at like who you would even consider for this award, the only other possible option would probably be Eric Gordon, right? Like Eric Gordon is a solid perimeter defender, you know. The metrics don't love him, to be honest, but I always thought eye test wise, like he's a solid defender. But man, if Eric Gordon's the best defensive player on your team, you got issues. And right, I think it's Tate as well. Tate is I think he's a nice defensive playmaker. You know, like he gets steals. He's disruptive in passing lanes. He's good in that sense, and he probably deserves the award just for checking Christian Wood's man on a nightly basis, if nothing else, anyway. Right? So Tate.
right. Unanimous. That was Tate. So
Yeah.
we're gonna give you your flowers today, Tate. You are the Chop Shop Defensive Player of the Year for the Rockets, Jay Sean Tate. So the next one we will preview is the Rockets Rookie of the Year. And by no surprise, the fans voted again for Jalen Green. Oh man, computer had a little lag in it. Yeah, the rookie of the year, Jalen Green. And I have no, how can I argue with that? 5 30-point games on a historical pace. If he get what, like one more, he'll tie Allen Iverson, or is it two more? If you get two
I
more,
think
I
it's one
believe he'll
more.
tie.
I think.
Yeah, get one more, he'll tie. If he get two more, he'll break the
Break
record.
it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
and
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how he's not getting more. Well, he did move up to what, number 4 in the rookie ladder,
Yeah.
but I think he should be at least two. Truthfully,
I
I'm
mean,
biased, but I think he should be at least two.
but let's be honest. The media members they decided this 2 months ago. Like they already had their votes. They knew who they were gonna cast. It's either Cade or Mobley, and then a little small fraction says Scotty Barnes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will say Jalen, he's had, first of all, he's obviously the Rockets rookie of the year. I mean, that's, nobody's going to dispute that, right? But like he's had stretches where he was pretty bad this year. And that's something that you can't say about Cade, Mobley, or Scotty, really. But Cade's had some rough
I
goes,
think
but
we can though.
not like Green though, not like Green. But let me balance that out. Green has also had a run where he's been the best rookie in the league by a long shot. Like by now, like for the last month and a half, he's been the best rookie in the league. So, like, I don't know if he really deserves league wide rookie of the year consideration, but I also don't really care because I just think that he's proven, in my opinion, is the highest ceiling of the big four. I'm not saying he's going to be the best, but the ceiling is limitless for the kid, really.
I gotta believe he is a victim of circumstance because early on, I don't think Silas established a pecking order, and that's a problem. Like, and I get it. Silas is just kind of figuring things out. He came in to coach a championship contender, and now he's got himself a kindergarten class. 100% understand that. I feel for him. But at the same time, we don't have a pecking order, and you got a guy who's trying to make waves, trying to recruit people. Because let me be honest, if Jalen Green is being loud and proud, people are gonna be like, I want to come to Houston. I want to play with that dude. Whether they're getting drafted and they're saying, "Hey, I want to be with him," or they're already in the league and they're going to be a free agent in 2024. So we got some stuff where we should be featuring him, but we aren't. Like we're finally seeing him put up above 15 shots a game when there were nights he'd be lucky he gets 5. That makes zero sense to me.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, Alan, I can't argue with that. I mean, the whole fan base, they've been clamoring more touches, more shots, more this, more that. And you see it now that he is getting those touches, those shots. I mean, he looks unstoppable almost. Like he's getting to the bucket at will. His mid range game has come along, and he's a 3-point threat. Like he's a 3 level scorer, dunking, alley ooping machine, and it's like we boxed that off early in the season and just kept him in the corner, standoffish, and he suffered. On the national level, people calling him bust this, bust that, which was ludicrous. He only played about 30 games as a pro, and people calling him a bust. But I kind of give all that blame to the front office and to the coaching staff for allowing Jalen Green to be held in a box like that. And why, when you shelled out a second round high draft pick for this kid, and now you see when they cleared the path, let him work. Jalen Green is that guy,
Yeah.
and I think it could have been that way earlier than now. So yeah, on a national level, his reputation did take a hit.
Yeah, you know what, man? Also, Alan makes a good point that the media, like, they tend to decide the award early. I was complaining about that to my friend, and he said it's first impressions, right? First impressions tend to last. Like, people got it in their heads, like, okay, Jalen Green's not very good. Evan Mobley's the best defensive player. Cade's the best all-around player, and like this is how we see it. And it's like, yo, this kid is dropping 30 points every night now. Like, you have to update your perception of how things are, but it's too late for a lot of people.
But me personally, I would always rather have a slow start and a fast ending than vice versa.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of it, like Mobley. He's really struggling without Jared Allen next to him. He's really not that guy like that he was, back in November, December. Like he's a totally different player. And I think Cade, he's been just steady, more or less. He ain't been dipping, he ain't been real super high, but except for a couple games, he did pretty much carry them, of course. But I think Jalen, you see his ascension and where he's going. Yeah, he's got the highest ceiling, and I think he's been the most electric
Yeah.
this out of the rookies this season. And that plays a big part into it. But I think his perception around the league is that he's a ball hog, uh me player, and that looked bad not only on him but on the Rockets and a coaching staff that allowing Jalen Green to be a me first player. You know what I'm saying? But that is the farthest from the truth. Like we want him to be a little bit more selfish and take more shots as a fan base. It's really the coaches that is handcuffing him to a certain extent to where it's like, come on, man. You got the number 2 pick and you see his gifts. Why wouldn't you maximize it instead of minimize it? It don't make no sense to me. But I'm not the GM and I'm not the coach. So
So
who
so
am I to
so
say?
since All-Star break, we're talking about 21 games. So it's not a small sample size anymore. People can stop with the crap saying, "Oh, it's just a small little stretch." Jalen Green is putting up 47% from the field. He's shooting 35% from 3. I mean, look, that's not Steph Curry, but that's pretty darn good. And he's putting 22 points a game. Like, you look
Since the
at it,
All-Star break.
Yeah, since All-Star break. Because these 30-point games that he's putting up is really racking up that average. And it's just, I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, this is a pretty good guy. This is a pretty good player. The respect he's not getting for a 21 game stretch. I mean, look at Lynn Sanity. How long did Lynn Sanity last? And Jeremy Lin got that big, humongous deal out of it. Come on.
Good
If
point.
Jalen Green was a free agent this summer, everyone would be tripping over themselves to sign him.
Hell yeah, 20 million a year probably, right? Because teams would factor in the bad start, but you gamble on that kind of production, man. You know, big money.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's just, I mean, it's crazy how narratives can actually dictate a person's perception of somebody else that they never even really watched play. This was a lot of things back during the Harden era. Like a lot of people would say, "Oh, I don't like watching James Harden play, blah blah this, blah blah that," but then go on to bash him and be like, "How do you know? You just said out your mouth you don't watch him play."
Yeah.
Like you can't have it both ways. You know what I'm saying? Either you have a formal opinion about somebody you watch play, or you don't have one. Just chill, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to have a take on everything
Yeah.
possible.
Or
And
you're
it's
also
and
allowed. Sorry.
go ahead.
You're allowed to say like based on what I've seen, this is my opinion, but I will admit that I haven't watched him play that much. Like that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
But you're right,
Right.
everybody's got to have this strong opinion, hard takes. It's not right.
Yeah. It's crazy. So recapping the season awards for the Rockets, we have the most improved player. We have the sixth man of the year award, Aprin Shangoon. We have the defensive player of the year award, Jay Sean Tate. And we have the rookie of the year award, Jalen Green. Now, we thank all the fans for participating in this poll. This was for y'all. This was unanimous. This was decisions y'all made. We didn't finagle and do anything to the votings to skew it one way or the other. This was all Rockets Twitter fans voting, and we appreciate it from the Chop Shop for taking your time out and voting so we can present these awards for you. So we're gonna keep it rocking to the next topic, and it is the Brooklyn Nets pick. Now, we all know we've been watching the standings, eyeballing, seeing where they're gonna land, seeing where we gonna land, watching both sides, the East and the West, calculating up games for the play-in, seeing how many games they gotta lose to be in the play-in. So our pick can become a lottery pick. And as of now, I believe it is a lottery pick.
If it
I
isn't,
think it's
it's
like
darn close.
15th, 16th, somewhere up in there.
Yeah. Yeah, because so if they lose the play-in, it's definitely in the lottery. So it's crazy that they're in eighth place right now. I mean, I think they're gonna. I think they're not gonna slip like the Lakers to 11th. Everyone's statistically eliminated at this point. Yeah. Oh yeah, everyone's statistically eliminated, but still, the fact that they could miss the playoffs and this could be a lottery pick, that's tremendous.
So they're the eighth
Right.
seed right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But they that mean they do have to participate in the play-in, being
They
the eighth
own
seed.
they own the tiebreaker against Atlanta, and that's why they're 8, and they're only a game ahead of Charlotte. So we could see them slip into the 10 seed, and they have to win 2 games. That's kind of big.
But them being the 8th seed, they do have both their games at home, right? So Kyrie will be present for those games. So
Yeah,
that kind of evens it out a little bit that Kyrie actually can play in those games. Now, if one was happened to be on the road, that don't even matter no more. So it don't even matter no more. Kyrie will be there. So yeah, they not losing. I can't see them and the Lakers losing and not well the Lakers not even participating in the play-in, but I can't see the Nets losing in the play-in. I
Neither can
mean,
I. But man, let me think. Think about it this way too. What's the lowest the pick could be? Like 18th, something like that, right? At,
yeah.
at, at this
yeah.
point, yeah. So I mean, when I'm a fan. I love the Harden trade. I love what we got for Harden. But I've always said like, well, next year will probably be 30th, 29th, 28th overall pick. But then it's gonna get good in 2025, 26. But like, we're already reaping rewards. So that's to me is a big win, even if it does end up 18th overall. Like
So
that's a
you
good
had
pick.
so you have no qualms with the Harden package that we got back.
No way, man. Because I'll tell you why. For me, we were so light on picks that we needed picks beyond anything else. So like I wish I'd been on Twitter at the time. I wasn't, but I was telling my friends, almost compulsively, like I don't give a shit about getting Ben Simmons. I don't want Michael Porter Jr. I might want Jalen Brown, but what I really want is just as many picks as we could possibly get. So I got what I wanted.
Yeah. You,
And
Alan?
and so I've been saying this on the group chat. I've been talking you guys a year off. I keep saying this. 2024, we will have 8 rookies under not 8 rookies, 8 guys with 3 years or less under contract. That Brooklyn Nets pick being good this year gives us a better chance to see maybe we put that in a package with something else and move up in this year's draft and say, hey, instead of having eight rookies under contract in 2024, we only have 6 or 7. Or, hey, maybe it increases our lottery odds a little bit and it moves up. If that's a top 5 pick and our pick is a top 5 pick, I'm not going to complain. So I think this is already paying dividends. I think it also increases the value of those other Brooklyn Nets picks because if we are doing this rebuild right, we don't keep those Brooklyn Nets picks. That's my opinion. Is we ship those picks out. They become someone else that you pair between whomever we draft in the top 5 this year, Jalen Green, and that other third guy. That third guy is who comes over and says, hey, I'm good. And we are instantly playing for something real instead of staring down a 20-win season.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Right now we got Terry Agent saying, "What's up? What's up, Terry Agent? What's going on?"
How you living in New Zealand, man?
Oh shit, that guy. Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, Terry say he from the future, bro. Yes, it's Thursday. Ah, and he also says free rock.
Free
Free
rock.
rock with his fruit snacks. And rock crazy. Rock said it's a dub. Get Terry on the show. He campaigning for Terry to get on the show because he freeing Rock right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next pick, I mean, that whole package is real interesting to me because we didn't like we pretty much betted on ourselves and our future. You know what I'm saying? We kind of took it in our own hands and not getting tied to Karis LeVert or Jared Allen or whoever was going to end up coming out. We didn't even end up keeping Oladipo or Kelly O or none of that. Stone just wanted those picks. That's what it was all about. Picks and flexibility. And I know people have said this over and over and over and over. But like Alan had mentioned, our cupboard was bare from draft picks. we and then Harden was eventually he's gonna leave. So let's say we do bring over Karis LeVert and all them. I mean, we're pretty much gonna be stuck with those guys for 3-4 years before we can even recoup any type of draft capital and get back. So our in essence, our rebuild was gonna be delayed 3 to 4 years. Then another 3 to 4 years building a rebuild. So that's had a decade. We was gonna be irrelevant, pretty much. And
Yeah.
we got the baseball, the basketball gods shined upon us and gave us Jalen Green to start this thing back off. Like, yeah, y'all went through a lot. Everybody left y'all, but here, y'all take this,
Yeah.
nurture him, give him, guidance. I'm gonna leave y'all with a beacon of light, a beacon of hope. After all the sadness we went through when Harden left and the agony of losing all those games, 25 straight, and man, Jalen Green is the beacon of light that we all needed. And when it's refreshing that we have that next him type of guy, like I truly believe he has a higher ceiling than a lot of the guys that's on the above 25 and the 25 and lower list to come up lead the NBA. Man, Jalen Green ceiling is higher than a lot of those guys. He just need a floater here, you know what I'm saying? A soft heady go here, make manipulate the defense with his speed. Learn how his speed is really the weapon. He can be like the Flash, you know what I'm saying? Like Jalen Green is him, and we went from Harden to him. And I actually think if we surround him and do right by him, he will eventually have a better tenure as a Houston Rocket than James Harden did. That's just me. Because I
Well,
think he got that it like that James Harden didn't have. Like I'm a biggest Harden fan when he was here. He didn't have it in clutch. He didn't have it. And we see the smallest moments that's big for Jalen, milestones, playing the Lakers, playing Boston, playing against Cade, playing against Scotty Barnes. Those little milestones, he eats and gobbles those up, and he shines and he rises to the occasion for that, you know. And all he needs is a little bit of space. You know what I'm saying? Like this, and he figured that out. I'm a bucket, and it's over now. It's over for the league. He figured out I'm a bucket, and he said it out his own mouth. That's confidence.
I'll tell you this,
He
man. I don't think he's on the roster right now if we had kept Jared Allen, because I think that competent rim protection and actually, well, like strong rim protection in Allen's case is a floor raiser. You know what I'm saying? If we had had that interior defense all year last year, we wouldn't have been good, but we would have been better. And that we needed to tank the season. I know it's a dirty word, but man, dude, I mean, that pick was protected 1 through 5, right? So if that pick had gone to the Thunder, we'd be lucky to be talking. We'd probably be talking about Alfred Şengün, and I'm excited about Şengün, but I'd rather have Jalen Green, you know. And I just think I think we're really lucky as a fan base to be in the position that we're in personally, and I think the Nets picks are a big part of that.
Yeah. Terry says Jalen just needs a good screen and some space, and he cooking with fish grease. Hot.
Oh yeah,
Well, that goes to my Alperen Sengun agenda that I want to go toward is like I feel like Shangoon and Wood, if they could merge and actually like create a unified player, that'd be great, because Shangoon does set pretty decent screens. He can run to the basket really well, but he can't hit that three. So people are more likely to just back off Shangoon, but if he learns how to hit that three, the amount of space he's going to create for Jalen Green, it's unstoppable, man. That's a good pair.
Yeah, Mike says we would have been the Cavs if we would have kept Jared Allen and them boys. I don't know about the Cavs because we still didn't have a Evan Mobley. I mean, we wouldn't have had Evan Mobley either. If we, you know what I'm saying, if we would have took Jared Allen and Karis LeVert. So I don't think we would have been the Cavs. We would have been probably some semblance of the Cavs. Probably we would have been
Worse.
middle of the road. Are you thinking that the Cavs are going to win a championship in like 2 to 3 years?
I think it's in the realm of possibility, but I wouldn't call it likely necessarily. Yeah, no, probably not. But also, we don't have Darius Garland. I mean, like we would have had a means to acquire Darius Garland. So like I see what you're saying, Mike, but I just think that there are a lot of differences in the situations for me. Oh,
Mike says he's talking about the Cavs of
Of
last year.
last year. Oh,
Okay, I got you.
yeah, you got a point. That's
He
true,
says
right? Like,
meaning he's still having a high draft pick. Okay, I get what he's
yeah,
saying. I
yeah,
get you.
maybe so. Yeah, because I said that Jared Allen would have meant that we wouldn't have landed Green, and realistically, the Cavs had Jared Allen, and they still landed Mobley. So point taken for sure, man.
Yeah, yeah, I can see what he's saying right there, no doubt.
Yeah.
And as we move on, we're gonna have to y'all going to y'all finish with the Nets pick? Y'all good on that?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but, I mean, it is what it is. So looking into the future, um, and seeing actually Clutch fans, he want to temper some expectations. So I'm sorry, James, I got to block you out so the people can see this. So Clutch fans, there you go, right there. Clutch fan says the Rockets plan and hope to be a playoff team by the 2023-24 season. I see some fans thinking they will be a play-in team next season, and I love the optimism. But which 5 teams in the West do you think they could pass to get to the 10th spot? And you see, these are the current standings right here. So Clutch fans want to know which of these teams out of the really San Antonio Spurs, the Pelicans, Los Angeles Clippers, and Minnesota, basically. Which one of them can the Rockets potentially be better than next year to make the play in?
So I looked at this from a mathematical standpoint and said like the 34 wins is what it's going to take to instead of looking at rank wise, just 34 wins is what it's going to take to make the play in. How do the Rockets get 34 wins coming from 20? Well, I did some numbers and I looked at the close games this season. Games that are decided by 10 points or fewer, we have 36 games. Of those 36 games, we have lost 21 of them. So we're not bad in close games, actually. I mean, you want to shift that and go 17 and 7, or sorry, 34 games, because it was 17 and 17. So you want to shift that, that only puts us at 24 wins. I think even with more talented guys, even with everything we could bring in, I don't know that we go past 32 games. So that puts us right around 12th place, which isn't playing, but I would think that's the metric. I think that's the stick you use to measure Stone at the end, or not Stone. You measure Silas at the end of the season. You say, did he get to 30 wins? Did he get to 32 wins? And if he didn't, man, that's going to be a hard sell to bring him back for that final year of his contract. That's going to be a very hard sell for me. And I'm not a win-loss total guy myself, but I want to see improvement. And I get it. We're going to probably lose Eric Gordon. I get it. If Houston does things right, we're going to lose Wood too. So we're going to lose some veteran leadership, and we're going to lose some good play from these guys. I mean, it's not perfect play, but it's good play. So we will take a step back, but I don't know. 3 seasons of sub 30 wins. Oof, that's hard.
Tough pill to swallow. That's almost like when the Astros was losing 100 games in every year, like for 3-4 years straight. It was tough, but now look what we got out of that. if you want to look at the rebuild, I always try to remind myself of. I know it's a different sport, but how the Astros was losing. They was losing 100 games religiously for 3 4 years, but they end up getting talent and more talent to where now they've been to what, four world 4 championship series, 3 World Series off of all that. Yeah, they only got 1 ring, which is taboo around here to say it's tainted, and you can say what you want, but they did, besides the rings, they got to sustain excellence now. Now a few of those guys are gone, but they got a culture now to where they play ball over here in Astros. They got a certain stigma about them to be an Astro these days, to where it leveled them up. So you translate that to basketball, you can kind of see why tanking is a big hot topic, because the worse you are, the better talent you will get inevitably. You know what I'm saying? It just happens because you are so bad. And if the Rockets can kind of follow that mode, so the Hinch, he wasn't there doing the 100 win season. I mean, losing seasons like that. So maybe Silas won't be here to see, because the Astros went heavy analytical the last 3 4 years, and it kind of pushed them to where they are now. So is the Rockets, is the Silas is going to be safe to see this rebuild through? That's one of the biggest questions. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, I don't know. I hope so. I really hope
Man,
so.
I just think that some people are trying to push the rebuild ahead a little too quickly, and I guess it comes from the anxiety of not having those Thunder picks. But one assumption that I think that people make that is a little bit overrated is that like we need to make like gradual linear progress to the point of like next year we have to be a playing candidates, that the year after we can be playoff candidates. That like I think it's probably more likely we're going to take one big jump at some point, right? Like that's, or at least just as likely. And I think it'd be a little foolish to get really serious about being competitive next year with, man, like literally one of the best drafts, one of the most anticipated drafts in history in the 2023 draft. Like, just hold on for one more year, get the best player we can from that group, and then, then start thinking about free agents and stuff. Because the 2024 free agency class is better too. Like, I don't think I like Allen's metric. I agree. I disagree with that personally. What? Yeah, Magnet Nurse. Do you mean next year? If we're in the next lottery, like in the Victor
He
Wembanyama
disagree.
lottery? Yeah, no, we're probably gonna suck again next year. That's the expected developmental curve of a team in our situation. Like if something, if we're not a lottery team next year, something went incredibly right. Is more so what I would think is accurate. Like, if you just look at history, Philly were horrible for 5 years. The Thunder were horrible for 5 6 years, like until they got their big three. Like, this is just how it tends to go. I know we don't like it, but
Oh, he means 2023, 24.
all right. So then, in which case, I agree. Yeah. By then we should be at least like pretty, you know, like distinctly in the play-in.
Yeah, because our pick, we don't own our pick that year. It's
Yeah.
going to OKC that year anyway. So that's what I was trying to emphasize to somebody online. We really only have like 4 good chances to make this team better before we have to give our pick over. We got this season, this off season, trade deadline, next off season, and we better be booking it by the next trade line, seeing like we gonna be pretty much in the hunt or something. Or like I kind of agree with what Magnet Nurse says. If we not good by 2024, the end of 2023, 24, it might be a little uphill battle for the
Yeah.
Rockets unless we just get a stroke of luck from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta believe that in 2024 also. I mean, okay, I reserve the right to completely undermine this later. So if someone tries to keep receipts on this, I'm gonna say one thing: the new CBA could change everything. But I think 2024, we should be looking at a decent free agent. It should be Green, the guy we draft this year, and someone we lured in free agency, because we're going to have money. We should have money, and we're going to have a team that is like poised with assets to really come in and say, "Hey, we can get those role players. We can get that." So I think by then we should have something. I'm not saying we're a playoff team. We might even still just be a play-in loser, but I think by then we're going to be looking at like we got something.
I think that's when we're gonna be ready to trade those picks, the future Nets
Yeah,
picks, because it makes no sense to really hold on to them unless you thinking we're gonna have to reset this rebuild after 2024, because how we planned it in 2022 and 2023, it didn't pan out. So now we need these extra picks to kind of reset what we had and reassess how we're going to maneuver to get us back into contention after that. So yeah, I think 2024 is a big year for us in that Nets pick and making that play in. So to recap, clutch fans, I don't see, to be totally honest, I think we might can catch San Antonio. I think they're catchable. The Clippers, they gonna be much better when Kawhi and Paul George get back.
Yeah.
Minnesota, we already see that they already coming of age and they already starting to make a little noise. So put one more year with them together. I don't know if they gonna be looking to get rid of D'Lo or not and try to get more of a another wing like type player to go with them, but they still gonna be, I think, better than us. And I don't see us catching nobody. Truthfully, New Orleans, no, Zion's gonna be back potentially. I think the Lakers probably be a little bit better if they can get rid of Russell Westbrook. But if they keep him Russell Westbrook, it's gonna be another down year for the Lakers. Portland, I
Portland.
think they actually gonna be good next year when Damian get back. When
Yeah, they'll probably have Jeremy Grant. To be honest, like that's my hunch. Or like they're gonna try to get veterans. I think with their draft pick and like Keon Johnson and some of those young guys. You know, could be Julius Randle, could be Jeremy Grant. Like they're probably gonna go for a wing. I think slash forward.
yeah, so Clutch, I think we're gonna have to agree with you on that post to, well, we need to temper our expectations on a play in next season. But as a fan of me, I'm gonna
You're
have to
never going to root
say
against them.
no. If we make the play in, that means Shangoon has took a leap, Jalen Green has took a leap, Josh Christopher then panned out and took a leap, and possibly our rookie that we're gonna draft is actually being who we thought he would be, at least up to that point. So as long as he's not underachieving as a rookie and deer in the headlights type thing, I think he will be able to contribute in that type of environment with those guys. So if they all take a leap, he got to come with. You know what I'm saying? So maybe just maybe, I'm holding out 5% that we will make the play in. So I'm not, because I never say never. I never count nothing out, because mathematically anything can happen if you put the numbers right. So what do you think, Alan?
I definitely agree. I mean, look, uh, I hate to like bring up old wounds, but when James Harden left the Rockets, a lot of people looked at the writing on the wall, looked at how good the Lakers were, and they turned around and said James Harden made the right decision leaving the Rockets. Now looking at the Western Conference, looking how things shook up, if James Harden would have given this Rockets team a chance and would have stayed on, there's a very reasonable belief that the Rockets could have been in contention. Maybe not best in the West, but they could have been good. And Mike is lighting up our chaps right now, saying like you can't predict what's going to happen in the NBA, and that's very true because the Atlanta Hawks look like the team to beat last year, and they look just unlucky. Now they're struggling to even make the playoffs, so I'll never rule it out.
Right, right. Mike says, the point of a rebuild is to be able to compete. Getting all draft pick is not the only answer. In fact, it's the least likely way. I'll I don't disagree with you, but you can't take a certain mold and say this is the way to rebuild. I mean, they betted on themselves. They went to Vegas and betted that they're gonna put their own future in their hand. Hey, is that the right way? No, some people won't do it. You know what I'm saying? But they betted on themselves and took the draft picks and said, I am a good enough scout. I am a good enough GM. I can find talent hidden in the back ends of second round drafts and all that. And you just give me some type of equity and I'm gonna make it work. That's what they was talking. That's how the front office was looking at it. Just give me some equity. I'm gonna make it work. I don't need off branded and already rebranded players that's journeyman. Basically, they already went to 3 and 4 teams already. So just give me some fresh new blood. We need some fresh new blood so we could teach this thing from bottom up, and we can have this thing and mold this thing and build a culture that we want to set. So they bet on themselves, and I can't say that they was wrong in doing it because right now they looking like Nostradamus and had like some type of crystal ball, and I can't get mad at that, Mike.
I just want to say, like, I feel you, but at the same time, the point of a rebuild is to be able to compete eventually, like in the future. Like, it's just all 30 teams would like to win the championship every year, right? Like, that's the reality of it. But they're not going to, and like we're just not ready, man. I'll say this: I think that we could possibly make a play-in run if specifically we draft Jabari Smith Jr. Not because I think he's necessarily the best player in the draft, but because I think that he fits really cleanly into what we're doing, like immediately. So if we got Jabari Smith Jr. and then we had a good defensive player at the small forward and we kept our backcourt, I think that could be maybe a playing team. But I mean, that's a very big if. And otherwise, like, if it's Paulo Banchero, I think there's going to be a lot of figuring out next year. If it's Chet, I think Chet is like a project. He's probably not going to be really ready to like be a high level player for 2 or 3 years. If it's Ivy, there's going to be figuring out in the backcourt instead of the front court. So, and if it's like Adrian Griffin Jr. or Benedict Mathurin, they're probably just not ready to make the type of impact that's going to launch us into the play-in. So, Jabari, or else we're probably back in the lottery, man, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, we'll strike Winnebanya next year
Wembanyama.
then. Yeah, Webinyana, whatever his name is. Magna Nerd says one of how many years produces the guys that'll take you there. I mean, it's almost like the luck of the draw, really.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
gotta know, you gotta have a good scouting team in a good department that knows how to go look for talent and find it and nurture it and make it grow. So it's not all about how many picks you get. It's about, do you make the right pick and what did you do with the pick when you got it. So I agree with that. And he said he likes Stone's approach to being flexible and ready,
I
which
agree.
I agree. Because you
Yeah.
never know when the market is hot. You never know when one of these disgruntled superstars gonna want out. And what do most teams want for the disgruntled superstar? Yeah, they want a couple of filler players, but they really want some draft picks, some equity that they can
Yep.
move around and they can leverage and they can use it how they see fit. So you get another star, he might be grumpy in the near future. So you never know how that go. Mike says the Warriors only had one high draft pick, Curry. Yeah, but that was a victim. I mean, that was like more circumstantial that eventually they end up getting, because let's be real, I think there wouldn't have been no Warriors dynasty if KD wouldn't have went over there.
But
That's a good point too.
You know what I'm
okay,
saying? They had all right enough with Curry to where they won a lot of games when they caught people, slipping till they really got adjusted. And then LeBron was so on game to where I think he would have probably beat the Warriors a couple of those times if KD wasn't there.
well, I mean, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. Let's say Steph Curry is the God's honest truth. Where was Steph drafted, guys? He was number 7.
He was like seventh.
Yeah, I just look at it's 7, man. We're not talking about the first round, and that goes to what you're saying though, that it's luck based. There is a ton of luck. Do you know? I mean, Steph Curry had so much luck in his favor. First, going 7th pick. Second, having all those early ankle injuries, which lowered his contract value. So when he did his first re-signing, he didn't get the money he could have gotten, which allowed the Warriors to keep some of their core pieces of talent. Then on top of that, like you guys said, having the luck to go out there and get Kevin Durant, which really added miles to Curry's tires because Curry didn't have to play as hard those years. I still think the Warriors trounce everyone, maybe not us, but I'm biased as hell. I mean, that's why
Yeah.
I'm on here. But you look at it, Curry, had a lot of luck in his favor. And trying to say this is what we got to do, this is the mold, this is how you win a championship, is like looking at the Spurs and saying this is how you win a championship. Good luck. Good luck getting your Greg Popovich. Good luck getting your guys that are humble, that are really hungry, and that are quiet, but really go out and dominate. Good luck.
There there is
Right.
there is no like one way. That's the point I wanted to carry in that Alan you just made. Like, because if you look at history's recent champions, they were all built differently, realistically. Like the Lakers are just the Lakers. Like I always say this, but the Lakers just like kind of hang around until somebody wants to play for them. They don't really need to like do anything because they're the cool team, man. They got the good
Location.
branding. They play in LA. Yeah, right, exactly. The Raptors, they were just a really solid organization that made smart, small moves for a long time with like good player development and then they struck and got Kawhi, and that's how they did it, right? The Warriors, we went over already. The point is, like, you can look at all these teams and it's the draft, it's free agency, and it's trades, and different combinations of each. The name of the game is talent at the end of the day.
Yeah, because you can make an argument that a lot of teams, they like when they get their starters in their core, they totally whiff on the draft. They don't even care about the draft, you know what I'm saying, half the time because they already stable and set, so it's just different ways, to cook a cake, to bake a cake, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And there's no one way. I want chocolate cake. You might want vanilla cake. You know what I'm saying? You want upside down pineapple cake, but it's still a cake. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's all about preference almost and how you would like to see a team build instead of how the team is actually building. So you got to kind of give like that type of thing with a grain of salt almost. It's more preferential than factual.
If
What's
there
up,
was going to be
Zeb Agbanyam? What's going on, Zeb? He say, "Amen." Y'all speaking that truth. Y'all speaking them facts up here. Thanks for joining us, Zeb. Magnet Nurse. He says, hopefully KPJ can be that low value because of his off court issues. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, if you look over some of our latest um pods, Magnet, you'll see, exactly how we feel about KPJ. Like, we're not totally out on KPJ. We just feel like a change of position can enhance more of what KPJ brings to the table instead of putting them in a box and trying to say, "Oh, you are a point guard" type thing. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. A lot of people on Twitter, tank, no tank, are you team tank, or you? I mean, it's just how you want to build the team. That's it. Ain't nobody really uh knows the recipe of building a team. So before we get up out of here, this is a nice, proud segment that I like. Been waiting for a long time, and that is Coach Silas. He actually got ejected. He actually stood up for the players. He actually, and what makes it even more sweeter that I was at the game and I actually got it on
Oh yeah.
film. I will have that
Oh
the
my
rest of my life. I seen Coach Smiley. That's not negative at all when I call him Coach Smiley because he got the smile, he got the charisma. He's always cool. He always under composure. He never loses it, and he went crazy. I never seen Coach do that. He act like he really wanted to fight. I was looking, I was like, oh, Coach, that's what I'm talking about, Coach. Yes, yes. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. Even though
Yeah,
we
you've been
lost,
saying that too.
hey, even though we lost James, I went home happy.
That's
Love it.
awesome. That's awesome.
How y'all feel about Coach Salad? Did y'all like? Do y'all want to see more of that, or is that more too out of character for him?
I mean, so my view on Coach Salas is, I think we all just kind of got sick and tired of the BS from the team. Like, okay, everything's good, everything's fine, and him showing real emotion really just it really helped because he's as frustrated as we are. So seeing that, and especially it's a game that's inconsequential. Who cares? Seeing him get ejected, love it.
Yeah, 3 months too late in my assessment. But what do you think, James?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I feel for this dude so much, honestly. Like the way that he's supposed to come over and coach James Harden and Russell Westbrook, and he's kept such a cool demeanor. I think you got to give him credit for that. But this was probably overdue, and probably something he needed just as a dude at this point. Like,
Sometimes you need to just flip over a table and
yeah,
just relieve some aggression. Come on, what's our record like? Uh, in the last 2 years, we didn't lost like what 80 some games or something like that.
a
Like
lot of games,
something
man.
crazy, like triple digits probably.
Yeah,
And of course, he
It's all,
needed like this is like a year and a half late. I would have been dumping over stuff after the 25th game of last season. Like I would have been getting on somebody. I would have been getting on the refs. I would have been getting on somebody. They would have thought I was like Bobby Knight Part 2, reborn coming back because
I would
I
oh
have to
my
tip
I
his
would have
I have
quit.
to tip my hat to him though.
I probably would have quit at this point, just out of exhaustion. Like the guy deserves some credit, man.
Yeah, Mike
Even that
said
smile on his
he
face,
he wanted to see him slap a ref like Will Smith. Yeah,
Get
I don't
my
think you. I
Monday
don't.
Friday team out of your mouth.
yeah.
Yeah, my boy Zeb. It's always the quiet ones that lose their. You know
Yeah,
what?
that's right.
You're
Yeah.
right, Zeb. You got to watch them quiet ones. They the ones that you never see coming.
Yeah.
You never see it coming. And I didn't see that one coming. I was at the game and I seen the foul, and it was a hard foul. And I'm looking at the play, and I could see Coach Silas just beeline straight to the towards the player, and he came like out of my peripheral. I was like, "Whoa, who's that?" Coach Silas was going. I was like, "Oh, that's Coach. Get him, Coach." Coach was going off. I was like, "Yes, that's all I needed to see. That's all I needed to see." So, Terry said Silas got that Coach Lucas vibe. Nah, he don't. He don't. I got some film of Coach Lucas. That dude is a character. He
Oh,
talks. It's like he's on a stand-up comedy show at the game on the sidelines, bro. I swear. He's talking to everybody. He's making jokes. He's doing everything on the sideline. Like Coach Lucas is a whole vibe of his own. I swear. I
Love it.
swear.
I love it.
And we're gonna ask him one more question before we get out of here from Zay. And Zay said, "How long y'all think Silas will last here?"
I don't think he's gonna last, man, and I don't think it's his fault at all. It's just the situation. Like I think he's a really sharp basketball mind. I don't think there's very much that anybody could do with this, But I think he's just victim of history, man. It's just not likely to work out because it never does, you know.
Yeah, he's. I could see Stone letting him because his contract ends at the end of the 23-24 season. I could see Stone letting him play that out. I could see Stone firing him. It really depends on who we pick up, who's available actually in the coaching pool too. Because I'm not promoting Lucas to be interim coach. I'm not promoting Hornacek to be interim coach. I'd rather just let Silas have that one last season. But after 23-24, if the Rockets aren't a play in, even if they are, I really think we're going to see some people available. So I don't know.
I will say this: Stone as a GM have always seemed like he takes the person's personality and heart in consideration when he making these judgments. So is he gonna be like Jerry Jones keeping Coach Clapp for 20 years? No, I don't think he's gonna get that long. But I do see where, you know, and this is a black man coming talking about two other black men. I can see, well, just that being a dynamic, not saying that that is the only reason, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think he genuinely likes Stone. I mean, like Silas. And I think as long as Tillman is okay with Silas, I think Stone will keep Silas. Because the first thing, if you want to build a culture, you can't keep changing head coaches. That's one thing you can't keep doing. You like we see it all over sports, like the Lions, Cincinnati for a long time, you know, Miami, all kinds of even with Philly in the NFL, I mean in the NBA, we see the Sacramento Kings keep just shitting coaches out
Yep.
and they never really build a foundation. So if Stone is serious about what he's saying about actually building a foundation, I'm hoping Silas get that chance to get his voice, his coaching voice, because as long as he feel like he's threatened that he can lose his job, he will always be second guessing himself.
True.
So I will hope Stone will actually instill confidence in him and let him and extending him if you're gonna extend him or just letting him go if you're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Because don't have him on a lame duck contract.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he get to see this thing through. Like I like Coach Silas
Me too.
as a player. I mean, as a coach, and he gives great post game conferences. And I mean, and he breaks it down to where the simplest person can understand what he's saying when he's going into a lot of his game analysis. And sometimes he do give you a little fluff. I ain't gonna lie. He he shy away a little bit from a lot of questions, but that's just what type of person he is. He's non-confrontational. He don't want that type of problems. But I'm hoping Stone give this man a legit chance to really see it out. And
Maybe
Zev
get ejected
says
from a couple more games.
Silas has to crank up his staff. Some of those guys got to go. He's got to add a defensive guru to the bench.
It's not his choice,
I
guys.
don't think
Hey,
he picks.
Yeah, probably not.
I really don't.
sorry. They don't have faith in him to pick his staff, and that's it shows how much of a shitty hand he was dealt. Like he was brought in, they had very little faith in him, and it's I'm sorry,
I
it's
mean,
shit.
it's kind of makes sense because he was assistant. How do you know what type of other assistants? You know what I'm saying? Like you wasn't a head coach
True.
before,
Yeah.
so how do you know what to look like and look for in other assistants? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because you were previously an assistant.
There are some promising guys on the staff, right? Like Mahmoud Abdel Fattah, the Vipers head coach. I guess he doesn't work with the Rockets directly, but like he looks like he's got a good mind for the game. And Will Weaver's probably seems like a pretty high IQ guy. And like I don't know if Lucas is really an X's and O's guy, but he seems like a leader. right? So like I don't hate the whole staff or anything. I'm not really sure about Hornacek, to be honest, or what he really offers. I don't know, man. Our roster's too light to really make big judgments on the coaching staff. Like I think Silas, like I said, I think he's really good basketball guy. I don't think he's the type of person that wants to be keeping these kids in line necessarily. You know, like that's maybe the only problem with the
Right.
pairing.
Frank said he's gonna steal what Mike said. They need better assistants. I as a whole, it looked like we need better everything.
Yeah, we need a better
Truthfully, it
team.
look like we need better everything. And Zev said, then that's the problem number one. So I think that's a good place to leave it off, guys.
Yeah,
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for y'all insights. Chop
very
it
much.
up, man. Y'all guys, y'all kill it. It's the chop shop. Man, like I can't be more proud to have y'all guys and doing this guys on this endeavor with no other great bunch of people, you know what I'm
Oh
saying,
yeah,
as you two guys. And it was a
likewise,
great
man.
great show. Thank y'all. In-depth analysis, Alan with the statistics, the guru with the Stevie franchise, old school rocking it.
Love it.
James, tell people where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, go to the Dream Shake, man. That's where I post about the Rockets. And if you're interested in reading my fake trades, I just started working for NBAanalysis.net. A lot of like two trades to send Bradley Beal to the Wizards or to the Sixers, that type of stuff. But really, if you want to see the stuff I'm passionate about, just go to the Dream Shake. Thanks, Seb. Much appreciated,
Thanks,
man.
Zeb.
Appreciate it, Zeb. Appreciate it. We do it for the fans. We do it for the fans. Terry also says, awesome guys.
Thanks, dude.
Terry, when you coming on? We need
Terry,
we
we
need
need
that.
you up
Yeah.
here one day.
Yeah,
Zeb,
yeah.
this is an open platform. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say it on air so everybody can know the Chop Shop is an open platform. It's for everybody. Just hit us up. Tell us you want to be on the show. You're a fan. You will be on the show. It don't matter if you got 1 million followers, if you known locally, nationally, it don't matter. We will have you on because all we want to do is talk hoops. And if you want to talk hoops, you can talk hoops with the Chop Shop. This is
Please.
the Chop Shop. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties we had earlier, but we thank y'all for sticking it out with us. We got through it. The Rockets awards in the season awards is done, over with. It was a success. Thank everybody that voted, and we will be back next week. I don't think we will be back, but the Chop Shop will be back in specific. And we always bring in that fire content. I believe Frank and Zay and Rock will be on the next podcast. So y'all look out for them boys. They always gonna be bringing that heat. I think we will be coming in to some sort of agreement with Rock with these fruit snacks, so we can have one of our co-contributors back on board with us because we brought the wrong fruit snacks. The Great Value Smileys. I give them a shout out.
Free rock.
Thanks a lot, fellas, man. Appreciate y'all for coming out. Great show. Thanks for getting a drop at the Chop Shop. Y'all come back and hang with us, man. Appreciate it.